3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, it's Robert and Julia Miller with the J. Patel Group and RETHINK Real Estate with another exciting real estate update.
Exciting. It is exciting. I look forward to these videos now that we only are doing them once a month. So
I'm enjoying doing the videos out in the field. And
I think this is episode 119. Not counting the ones out in the field.
Right.
Yeah, we try to stick to these being the numbered episodes.
Right.
We will skip the joke today, but what else is in the lineup?
I'm going to do just a little bit of history because there was a couple of cool things that happened this week in years past.
So we had history, news, Cromford Report. We'll review the Cromford Report.
That's the meat and potatoes.
Go into rates, yep, and inventory. Changed a little bit on inventory, so stay tuned for that.
Right. Please like and subscribe so we can continue to grow our viewership and you can stay up to date on what's going on in the Phoenix Valley real estate market.
Well, it helps us know that what we're bringing you is important to you and good content.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right, history this week. 1994, Nelson Mandela is inaugurated May 10th as the first black president of South Africa.
Interesting. He was a great man.
Yep. 1975, tennis ball-sized hailstone falls May 13th in Wernersville, Pennsylvania.
Wow. Tennis ball?
Tennis ball size. That would be
that's-
like knocking
would
holes
shatter
in
your windows
roofs. And I cannot
yeah.
imagine the insurance claims. For
Yeah,
something like
no
that.
kidding.
Oh my gosh.
That's terrible, yeah.
1945, Germany surrenders to Allies May 7th in Reims, France.
Okay.
1908, the first Mother's Day is celebrated on May 10th in Grafton,
Yes.
West Virginia.
And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out
Happy
there.
Mother's Day.
Yes. All 3 of my daughters are mothers now, so happy Mother's Day to you guys. Heather, Sam, and Natasha.
That's right.
And I wanted to say, so 1945, Germany surrenders, so that's the beginning of the end of World War II, right?
That is the official end of World War II. Well, you're right, because we still had the Pacific battle going on, so you're right. That is the beginning of the end of World War II. Very well put. Okay, moving on. 1886, Dr. John Pemberton invents Coca-Cola.
Uh-oh. Now what was in it?
Cocaine.
Cocaine, believe it or not.
And finally, 1869, on May 10th, Utah crews complete the first U.S. transcontinental railroad
Oh,
line.
wow. 1869.
Yep.
Wow.
So that's a little history for this week.
Very
Let's move on to some news. Economic news. I'm sure everybody's aware the Fed did increase the rate again as expected. The Federal Reserve approved its 10th interest rate in 14 months.
Oh my goodness.
Raising the Fed funds rate by 0.25%. That puts the target at 5% to 5.25%. That's the highest it's been since August of 2007, the recession.
Lawrence Yun had some strong words for that last rate hike.
He felt it was unnecessary, right?
Chief economist of NAR, he felt it was unnecessary and creating zombie-like banks. So,
interesting. Okay. Jobs rise again. The job market keeps bucking the trend. Despite economic worries, non-farm payroll increased 253,000 for April, well above expectations. The unemployment rate of 3.4% tied the lowest level since 1969.
I couldn't believe that. 1969. Wow. Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Used car prices are finally retreating. Wholesale used vehicle prices declined by 3% in March.
Okay.
Used vehicle prices have been elevated since the pandemic. Yeah. Since the start of the coronavirus pandemic due to supply chain issues. So finally getting that caught up, and we're starting to see a little bit of downward downward pressure on used vehicle pricing. Okay, in housing news, average home prices rise. I know everybody's going, how can the economy be in
I
this
thought there was
condition?
downward pressure on
And
prices
I
for
know.
homes too. What?
Topsy-turvy, and we're
Are
going
you
to cover
sure?
some of that in the Cromford Report.
Yeah, we are.
All right, average home prices rise. A sharp drop in new listings is causing more competition, pushing available homes above the asking price.
And that sentence is kind of contradictory to me a little bit. It's a drop in home listings, new home listings, more competition. It's actually because demand isn't growing as much as supply is shrinking, if that makes sense. Anyway, it's
Yeah,
confusing.
that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, but
Home prices rose 0.45% in March, with buyers finding roughly 30% fewer listings than pre-pandemic spring norms. So we're coming into the buying season, and
yeah.
there's not as much inventory as historically we should have. So that's going to be interesting what that does to pricing.
Yeah, now when you say we're coming into the buying season, I thought the first few months of the year were a typical buying season for us.
It kind of goes in, I like to think it follows the school year. So once you start looking at the school year,
So
like
you're talking
now,
maybe families or
Right.
young teachers relocating to new schools, things like that.
right.
Okay.
Want to do that in the summer before school
Sure.
starts, and all the activities, after school activities start. So.
Even though it may be hot here in Arizona, people are still moving to the valley in the summer.
In droves.
In droves, yeah.
Okay, feeling hopeless. 2/3 of renters in a recent survey believe they will never have enough money to buy a home.
Oh, that's sad.
While half consider home ownership very important, many focus on other goals. Being debt-free is number one,
That's
71%.
a great goal. Absolutely.
Retirement, that's another
Okay,
great goal,
very good.
66%. And owning a car. You know, we kind of take that for granted around here in the valley, but you know, you live in a city, big city,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily need a car, and it's kind of a luxury to have one. So,
Well, I think that the key there is owning a car, not just making payments either.
oh, having it owned outright? Yeah,
Right.
that could be too. Okay.
I think that's important.
Nearly 1 in 4 renters spend 50% of their income
That's
on
too
rent.
much. Don't
Wow.
do that.
Yeah, it's
30% at most.
Yeah,
really.
but well, what choice do you
What would
have though?
exactly. Recommended 30,
Yeah.
30% is the rest of that sentence. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. You sublet legally. You put the person on the lease with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you team up with other
Yeah.
like-minded folks you get along with well, and you go in on it together.
Let me give you a little bit of hope, renters
Okay.
or first-time home buyers. So we know there's been changes with the FHA loans. So this is really important, and they've made some really good changes for first-time home buyers. We know the prices are increasing. So FHA has raised the loan limit to $530,150. So that's great because home prices are expensive. In March, they dropped or reduced, not dropped, but reduced the mortgage insurance premium.
And the
So
PMI.
that's great.
Yep.
Yep. And then they also made a fixed rate lower than conventional rates. So now when you look at FHA rates, they're lower than the conventional rates, which is great. They also have increased how much they'll allow a seller to contribute to your closing cost as a buyer. Used to be only 3%.
Right, they've doubled
now,
it.
you can go
Wow.
to up to 6%. So that is great.
Yeah.
Those are all really positive changes for our renters
Yeah.
and
so
first-time home
renters
buyers.
don't feel hopeless.
Don't feel
There's-
hopeless.
Okay, quickly, regulatory news. This was interesting. Everybody's heard about the recent bank failures. Bank execs to testify. Former executives of Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, that was the first one, and Signature Bank, that was right after that, will testify before the Senate Banking Committee May 16th. SVB executives were paid annual bonuses just hours before the federal government took over the bank.
Oh my gosh.
Oops. And top executives made stock sales in preceding weeks.
Oh, wow.
Senators have asked Gensler to investigate.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
think they
gonna
better
be-
investigate.
That's not going to be good.
That's a little sticky.
Yep. All right,
sticky
that's a little
situation.
news for this week. What have you got for us for the Cromford Report?
Well, it's really mostly positive news. So I'll run through some things real quick, and then we'll get to some summaries and year-over-year, month-over-month comparisons. So the Cromford Market Index is up at 151 and rising. So you remember 100 is a balanced market. If we go over that, or this way for you, we're more in a seller's market. So we're definitely in a seller's market in most of the valley. So we have supply dropping like we've talked about. Since the last Cromford Market Index, it has dropped 4.2 points. It's at 55.5 now. And demand has increased, but only ever so slightly. 1.6 points, putting demand at 83.8%.
Right. So
yeah,
demand is
index
considerably higher than supply.
Yeah.
Even though they're both under 100, and that's what throws everybody off is we're in a depressed market. Well, you're right, we are, but it's a healthy depressed market. Can you say it that way? You know, it's just everything is down, demand and supply equally.
Right, but there's no downward pressure on pricing
Because demand is higher than supply. So,
exactly. So all markets across the valley are increasing in their index and coming into a seller's market if they haven't already. So there were 2 zip codes in Mesa and Phoenix that are both considered insane markets, in fact.
Wow, can't believe we slipped back into insane.
Yeah, our contract ratio overall across the valley is 83.3%. So you've got active listings when she did this ratio was 11,374, under contract 9,471. So yeah, that contract ratio is really high. And again, that shows that we're in that seller's market. New listings are down, like we've talked about. How much are they down? Year over year, they're down 23%. It's the lowest months ever
For
in new listings. Right.
That threw me off for a minute
yeah,
there too.
the number of listings isn't as low as it was last year, but the number of new listings coming on is low. And we'll get to some reasons when I do the recap as to why that is. Most of you already know why that is, but active supply is at a negative 43% since the peak in October. And we say peak in October since October was when we had the highest active listings in a while. So that's up 89% year over year. If we continue at the rate of absorption, we will be at a negative amount in supply in 6 weeks. So, and like Robert was talking about, we are coming into, as school ends, people go on vacation. As soon as they get back from vacation, they're like, oh, we need to move. Time to move.
Time to find a house before school starts.
Before school starts, yeah. So that's why 6 weeks is kind of the mark, line in the sand. So of the sales or of the active listings, 12.3 had a price reduction. That's pretty low.
That's not very high.
Not very much. The average or the median price reduction is 10,000. There's just very little pressure on pricing right now because there's very little supply.
Yeah. Unless you have extenuating circumstances, sellers are just holding firm to their price.
Right. So May, we saw, so far, we've seen 44.2% of closings involving seller-paid closing costs. And the 9,000 is the average on that.
And that's stayed the same.
Flip sales are down 69%. March to March. That's a March number there. So let's grab some summaries here. I'm going to summarize from the peak. So we see the peak of the market as May of 2022. So if you didn't know, that was the peak. So what's changed since then? So now we're at May to May. We've seen the median sales price go from $480,000 in 2022 to $428,000 now.
So that's the $1 million question. Have prices dropped? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Year over year,
Year
they've
over
dropped
year.
52,000 median
Median
in the last 12 months.
in the last 12 months. So May 2022 sales over asking price was at 55%. Now they're at 19%. Definitely seeing a drop there. Seller concessions to buyer was at 13% May 2022. Now it's at 44%. Yeah. And the median concession to the buyer was only $3,500 last year. This year it's $8,868,000. Quite a bit. Sales price to list price ratio was at 101.7. Oh, that
Those
golden
were the
number.
days. Long darn.
We reminisce about it. May 2023 now, we're at 97.8%. More normal, actually.
Right. It seems counterintuitive that the concessions would be going up. But it makes sense if you throw the interest rate in there. Because there's more buyers that need that help.
Right.
Because of that, they're buying down.
They're buying down the rate. Yeah.
So
They
that's
need a little
why
extra to kick in for that.
that seems upside down, but that's the reason.
Right. Median days on market prior to getting a contract last year with this time was 7.
Wow. What are we at now?
23.
Okay, that's still
It's not horrible.
very
it's not horrible,
quick,
folks.
but certainly not what was going on in
Right.
the insanity.
Let's talk about a 5-year change now. We talked about a 12-month change, or 5-month change, I should say, from the bottom of the market. And if you didn't know, the bottom of the market was December 2022. So December 2022 median sales price, and you might say, well, how do you know, Julia? How do you know it was? Well, these numbers are going to tell you how I know or why I'm saying that. December 2022 median sales price was $415,000. Now, $428,000. Prices are going up. December 2022 asking sales price over asking price was at 12%. Now we're at 19%. Modest
we're
number,
starting to
but
see
it's
it
still
creeping up
ticking
in
up
the
there.
favor of the seller again.
Seller concessions to the buyer was at 50%. So 50% of all sales in December was giving a seller concession to the buyer. Now it's 44%.
Okay.
It's still pretty high, but
it's creeping down.
it's going down. Yep. Median concession to the buyer then was $9,400. Now it's at, again, $8,868. We talked about
It's
that.
creeping down too.
Yep. Sales price to list price ratio was at 96.6%. Now we're at 97.8%.
Maybe we will see that 101% again. I hope not. But
I kind of doubt it, yeah. Median days on market prior to getting a contract was 55 days, and now last week for May so far is 23 days. So
okay,
things are looking up, believe it or not.
moving in the seller's direction for
Yep.
sure.
So just a few more bullet points here in summary. Why is supply declining so much?
Tell us, Julia.
Insufficient new listings to offset accepted contracts and canceled or expired listings. Sellers aren't getting their price. So they're saying, you know what, forget it. I'm not going to sell now. I'll wait.
Or they're sitting on a 2.85 interest rate and they're going, I'm not selling just to go get a 6.5% rate.
Right,
So.
true. Lowest level of new listings in at least 23 years. And again, that's not active listings because we've been lower. That's the new listings coming on the market. Greater Phoenix sellers market is growing. Prices continue to rise. We talked about that. FHA contracts are getting more popular. We talked about all the changes
that
there.
they're putting in there, that's understandable.
Yep. Let's see here. And then we also have, of course, she highlights the 40-year fixed loan modification for financially distressed homeowners, and that takes effect this month. that doesn't help new home buyers if you're already in an FHA loan. So it's for a financially distressed homeowner, somebody who needs to tack on extra time at the end just so they can get by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate that. All right. Quickly, we'll take a quick look at where rates are remaining fairly flat. The 30 years at 6.435, 15 years at 5.741, and VA is at 6.104. And next week, I'll go ahead and start adding the FHA since that's
I saw an FHA of 6.1.
6.1? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start tracking that one too when we do this. Inventory valley-wide continues to shrink. We're now at 12,326. Peoria has 357, and Sun City West, still very healthy inventory, 198 homes available. Price range $215,000 to $949,000.
We are starting to highlight Sun City West a little bit more. It's a city that we're actually looking at moving to. And so we are really interested in it. It's a very much a growing market and has a healthy market, I should say. Peoria is more of the growing market, so we definitely want to keep our feet in Peoria and Surprise. But Sun City West is becoming near and dear to our heart.
Exactly. All right. Some of the local communities. Trilogy at Estancia currently has 35 homes available. Price range $513,000 to $1,099,000.
Okay.
Portobello has 19 homes available. Price range $399,000 to $949,000.
Okay.
The Grand has 101 listings, 327,900. Looks like those condos finally sold.
Oh, they may have.
And a high of 925,000. Sun City West on the golf course. Believe it or not, there's 29 homes on the golf course available. One of them is a little 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo, and it's on the golf course.
Yeah,
215,000. You can be on the golf course.
Not bad.
If you're interested in hearing more about that, let us know. The high end of that is $949,000.
All right.
Sun City West with a pool. There's only 11 homes available, but that's understandable in that you've got 4 centers out there
we have
with
4 centers
amazing
with beautiful
facilities. So
indoor and outdoor pools, hot tubs.
almost everybody is within walking distance to the pool. So.
Yeah. Or a golf cart ride.
Or a golf cart ride. That's right. They do a lot of golf cart riding out there. So that price range for houses with a pool, $395,000 to $925,000. Finally, Sun City West homes with a casita. There are 3 available. $468,000 the most affordable, and $785,000 tops the list.
That's what we should get. We should get a home with a casita.
That's right.
Yeah, Mom would like that.
Your mom would love that. All right, that's our report for this month. I almost said week. Yeah, this month. So, hope everybody's doing well. Have a blessed weekend, and we will see you again next month.
Yeah.
Continue to watch for our community videos. We're going to be, again, doing those at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. If I'm doing open houses, I'll be doing a walkthrough of the home I'm at as well. So,
yeah, absolutely.
All right. Take care. We'll talk to you again.
See you soon.